Hi Southway, I have a new quiz for you today. This quiz is called Guess Which Country Miss Navarro is in. What you have got to do is you've got to have a look at the pictures that I'm about to show you. I've also been very kind in giving you some clues, and you are going to have to figure out which country I am in. Good luck! Okay, so this is question number 1, and this is picture number 1. So I am in, quite clearly, a very cold country. If you have a look at the picture, there may be some clues as to where I am. Now, my clues for you are that I am currently, in that picture, stood in front of a geyser. So have a think about which countries you might know have geysers in them still. This place is very cold and has lots of ice. Now, the ice is a big clue. And this country is an island. So have a think, have a look at the clues, have a look at the picture. Which country do you think I am in this picture? So for question number 2 and picture number 2, as you can see, I am sat in a very big clog, and this is your first clue. My second clue for you for this picture is that the country that I was in was famous, or is famous, for tulips and for windmills. So have a think if you know of a country that maybe has clogs as part of their national dress and is famous for tulips and windmills. Now, my third clue for you is that this country is a country in Europe. So have a think, what country could this be that is famous for clogs, is famous for windmills, and is famous for tulips? So for this picture, I was in the lint factory. So we visited the lint factory, and as you can see, there was every single kind of lint chocolate imaginable, and we bought lots of it. That is the first clue for this, that they are famous for producing lint chocolate, this country. If you look really carefully at the picture, the name of the country is actually in the picture somewhere, but it is not in English, so you'll have to have a really good think about which country it might be. One of the other clues I'm going to give you is that its flag, so that this country's flag, is actually a plus sign. And another clue for you is that this country is landlocked, which means that all around it are other countries. So it can't just pop to the seaside. All around it are other countries, which means it is landlocked. Good luck with this one. For this picture, my first clue for you is that this country is also an island. So it is like us, that it is an island surrounded by the ocean. My second clue is it is in the southern hemisphere. This was the place that took me the longest to go to that I've ever had to fly. And as a bonus clue, and with a little bonus picture there, the Tropic of Capricorn runs through this country. So have a think about where the Tropic of Capricorn is. And have a think about an island that would have taken me a very long time to get to, and have a think about a country where I would be petting these amazing animals. For this next picture, I have got something very exciting in my hand. It is a waffle, and the country that I was in is actually famous for its waffles, which is why we went and bought one, and this waffle was very tasty. This country is also a country in Europe, and for my third clue for this country, they also produce a lot of chocolate. So there was a country before where I was in the lint factory that produces a lot of chocolate, but this country as well is really famous for its chocolate production as well as its waffle production, which I ate a lot of both whilst I was there. This is one of my favourite pictures that I have probably ever taken. I have to admit that there is absolutely no filter on this picture, and the water in that lake was exactly that colour. It was unreal and really, really fantastic. An amazing experience. My first clue for this picture is the mountains that are in the background are the Rockies. So have a think about countries where the Rockies go through. My second clue for this picture is that this country produces a lot of maple syrup. And it's a really big clue as their flag also has a maple leaf on it. My third clue for this is that whilst we were in this country, we saw a huge amount of different animals, but my favourite animal that we saw were some bears, which was really, really exciting. And this country is famous for having bears in its wildlife. Good luck! I am really hoping that this picture is the biggest clue that you will need and that you recognise this landmark that I am stood in front of. This was me a very long time ago, which is why I look extremely young in this picture. But like I said, I'm hoping that the background of this picture will give you a big enough clue to know which country this is in. Now, just in case you need any more clues, my second clue is that the country is shaped like a boot. And my third clue is that whilst I was in this country, I ate some excellent pizza, some excellent pasta, and lots of amazing gelato. So have a think about a country that has got this as one of its landmarks, that's shaped like a boot, and that also you could eat lots of pizza, pasta, and gelato in. This was a really good trip, lots of amazing food. So for this picture, again, there is hopefully a really big clue in the background for you. The background of this picture, along with the cranes, is the Sagrada Familia, which is in this country and was being built at the time that I was there. Another big clue for you is that artists that have come from this country are Gaudi and Picasso. And in the city that I was in, there were lots and lots of work by Gaudi, lots of houses, lots of artwork on the streets by him, which was really fascinating to see. Now, for my food clue, I ate a lot of tapas in this country, and tapas is small dishes of lots of different things, which was amazing. So hopefully those three clues will give you enough information to know which country I was in. So this picture is a bit of a tricky one because I think there could be at least two different places that I could be in, but hopefully my clues will help you to decipher which one of those I was in. So my t-shirt is a really big clue. So have a look at the t-shirt that I'm wearing and what is on my t-shirt and have a think about where I could possibly be with that. If you look into the background, you will notice that there is a really special castle, which will hopefully give you a second clue about where I am. And the third clue, which I'm hoping is going to be really helpful for you, is that this country is in Europe. So have a really good think about that. The t-shirt that I'm wearing, the castle that's in the background, but that this country is in Europe to help you figure out where I am. So for this picture, as you can see, it was a really windy day because the country that I was in and the part of the country that I was in is really well known for its thunderstorms. Luckily, it wasn't too bad on the day that I was in this country, but it did mean that the thunderstorms that were coming in meant that I wasn't then allowed to go on one of the really big rides in this place, which was really disappointing. As I've said, so my first clue is that when I was in this country, I spent lots of my time riding on different roller coasters, especially on this day. I ate a lot of hamburgers whilst I was in this country, and there is a bonus picture clue of me in front of the big Jurassic Park gates. So have a think about where Universal is, where I would have been that would mean that I'd be stood in front of the big Jurassic Park gates. And where I would have been eating a lot of hamburgers. Remember, it's the country that I need. This picture shows me at a place in this country called Checkpoint Charlie, and I'm hoping lots of you may have learned about this at some point. My food clue for this country is that I ate a lot of bratwurst, which are amazing sausages. And I also had some currywurst, which were those sausages, but with a brilliant curry sauce over the top, which was really, really tasty. My third clue for this picture and for this country is that whilst on this trip, I also went to go and visit a wall. Now, this wall was mostly torn down, but there were parts of it that were still up. So have a think about a country where I'd be going to somewhere called Checkpoint Charlie, and that I'd also be going to visit a wall. So I'm hoping that they weren't too tricky, especially with the clues that I have given you. And now I'm going to go through the answers for you. Good luck. My first answer is that I was in Iceland. I have shown you here on this map where Iceland is. Firstly, I'd like you to find where we are, and then you can have a look and see where Iceland is in comparison to that. The second picture, I was in the Netherlands, so well done if you got that correct. Here is the map of Europe again to show you where the Netherlands are. You can see it is quite a small country, and the arrow is pointing towards it. For this picture, I was in Switzerland. If any of you were eagle-eyed and spotted, you can see that under the Lindt sign it says Suisse, which means Swiss. So you had an extra clue there to see whether I was in Switzerland. So well done if you spotted that and got this one correct. As you can see, there is Switzerland on this map. Switzerland is a very small country, and like I said, it is landlocked, so it is surrounded by countries. For an extra little bonus point, can you tell me which countries they are? So have a look and see whether you know which countries are surrounding Switzerland to make it landlocked. So I'm really hoping that this picture was one of the easier ones for you to get. Of course, I am in Australia. There's a picture of me with the Tropic of Capricorn sign. The Tropic of Capricorn runs through Australia. And then obviously I am feeding and petting some kangaroos, which are native to Australia. So I'm hoping that everyone got this one correct. Well done. As you can see from this map, there is a lot of different wildlife in Australia, lots of really exciting animals, the coral reef. I was actually in Western Australia for my trip, which was really exciting, and along with the kangaroos, I got to see dolphins and quokkas. Now, if you don't know what a quokka is, get your teacher to have a Google of it, because they are the cutest animals you have ever seen, and they always have a big smile on their face. So this one I thought was a little trickier. I could see that you could get this one confused with Switzerland, as I think both countries produce a lot of amazing chocolate, but this is in fact Belgium, and I am eating a Belgian waffle. So hopefully some of you got that clue, but like I said, Switzerland and Belgium produce lots of incredible chocolate, so I could see that you may have got confused with those, but I have got in my hand a Belgian waffle. Here is the map of Europe again for you, and I've got the arrow pointing on Belgium. So as you can see, I am in Canada in this picture. Now, Canada had some absolutely amazing views. And like I said before, this lake, actually, the colour of that water is that colour. There is no filter, nothing put on this picture. It was indeed that colour. And there are lots of little lakes and places around Canada that look as incredible as this. I was very lucky to get the opportunity to go there and to visit some of these amazing places. You can see from this map that Canada is just above America. We went to a place called Alberta, and actually even on the map you can see we stayed in a place called Edmonton. Now, I am hoping that with the Colosseum in the background and the mention of pizza, pasta and gelato, all of you got this correct, that I am in fact in Italy. You can see from the map where Italy is in Europe, and as I said in one of my clues, it kind of looks a bit like a boot. So this picture was a little trickier as you could only see a small part of it in the background, but I'm hoping with my clues, including that Gaudi and Picasso came from this country, that lots of you would have got that this was Spain. As you can see from the map, this is where Spain is, and actually the arrow is pointing at the same building that was in the back of my picture. Maybe your teachers could have a look at this and have a search for this as a picture to show you a bit more what it was like. You could also definitely have a look at some of the Gaudi artwork that is in Barcelona and some of the buildings that Gaudi has created, which are really, really fantastic. Now, this one was one where I thought I might trick some of you because I definitely could have been in America, at Disneyland in America, but I am in fact at Disneyland Paris. So you can see I've obviously got my Mickey Mouse t-shirt on, you've got the Disney castle in the background, and I was very excited to spend a day in Disneyland Paris. I met lots of the characters, which was really cool, and went on lots of the rides. But this was in France, Disneyland Paris in France, not any of the Disneylands in America. And I'm hoping my clue where I said that I was in Europe would have meant that you would have got this one. You can see from the map, this is where France is in Europe. On the map, you can also see the Eiffel Tower. Whilst I was in Paris, I was really lucky to be able to go and visit the Eiffel Tower, which was very exciting, but probably not as exciting as going to Disneyland. So after talking about being in Disneyland Paris, this picture is actually of me in Disneyland, Florida. Well, it's not Disneyland, it's Universal, because we had the choice of going to Disneyland or going to the place where Hogwarts was and the Harry Potter world was. And as some of you who may know me would know, I definitely chose to go to Harry Potter, which was amazing, and we had butterbeer and we got to see the Hogwarts castle, which was fantastic. You can see in my bonus picture as well, we went to the Jurassic Park area and went on the Jurassic Park ride, which was also brilliant. So this is America. Specifically, I was in Florida at this time, but the country is America. As you can see from the map, America is a very large country. I have put an arrow to Florida, which is where I was, but the answer of America is the correct answer for that. I am hoping that some of you got this correct because I am in Germany, specifically in Berlin. Whilst I was in Berlin, we went to Checkpoint Charlie. We went to go and see parts of the Berlin Wall, and we also went to go and see the Holocaust Memorial, which was really extremely sad, but very important to go and visit. As I said, we also ate lots of bratwurst and currywurst, and I had a really fantastic time in Berlin. My answer for this is I was in Germany. Here is Germany on our map of Europe, so you can see where in the world and where in Europe Germany is. Well done for completing my quiz. I will be really interesting to see how many of those you got correct and which clues helped you the most. What you could do now is you could pick one of the countries that I have spoken about and maybe do some research on it, or you could definitely plan for me my next holiday to go on. You could pick a country and decide the exciting things that I could do there. Well done everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.